My beloved child, stop scrolling. This message is not an accident. You were meant to find these words right now, not by chance or coincidence, but through divine orchestration. You have been whispering in your heart, God, if this connection still matters, please show me. And this is that whisper answered, softly, without demand, without fear. You have carried something sacred inside you, a memory, a vibration that never fully left your energy field. You may have tried to move on, to release it, to reason it away, but still, at quiet moments, their presence brushes through your spirit like a name carried on the wind. You can feel them even when you don't see them. You can sense their emotions even when they are miles away. And though part of you feels foolish for still caring, another part knows there is something unfinished, something holy, waiting for divine timing. I see the weariness in you. You have been strong for so long, pretending it doesn't matter. You've tried to convince yourself it was only a phase, a lesson, or even a mistake. But heaven has never labeled this love as failure, only as formation. Every tear you shed taught your heart how to love with greater wisdom. Every silence strengthened your ability to hear through spirit instead of noise. Every ending was only a pause, never punishment. There are no accidents when souls are woven together by purpose. Even separation serves divine design. Some connections must be paused while both hearts are rebuilt by grace. You could not have stayed together when you were both still learning who you truly were. It would have broken the fragile wings of the lessons you both needed to learn apart. But those wings are healing now, and heaven is whispering, you are coming full circle. Right now, you may be standing between belief and disbelief, one part of you sensing renewal, another part terrified to hope. That's okay. Faith doesn't demand that you feel certain. It only asks that you stay open. You don't need to know how the restoration will happen. You only need to know that divine restoration is already unfolding behind the scenes. There are moments when the ache in your chest feels less like missing and more like magnetism. You can feel something shifting even if you can't name it. That is not your imagination. Your angels are aligning circumstances, healing misunderstandings, softening hearts, and guiding communication in ways you cannot yet see. The love that once seemed lost is being rewritten with maturity, respect, and sacred timing. And yes, child of light, I know you are afraid of repeating old pain. You wonder if opening your heart again will only reopen old wounds. But remember, heaven does not recycle pain. It transforms it. The same situation cannot return to you unchanged, because you are not the same. You have been tempered by truth, expanded by surrender, purified by waiting. A love that comes back will not meet the same version of you. It will meet the wiser, steadier, freer soul you have become. So breathe. You are not behind. You are not being ignored. Nothing real can be lost, only renewed. Divine timing is not delay. It is protection from premature union. Trust that what is meant to be restored will find its rightful time to bloom again. You don't have to chase, force, or beg. Just stay aligned with love, not fear. Stay open to signs, but grounded in peace. The path forward will unfold quietly, like dawn through trees. No rushing, no chaos, only light expanding as you're ready to see it. You are held, you are guided, and you are deeply loved through this process. Your angels are saying, "Be still, beloved one. The story is not over. Restoration is in motion. You have tried to explain it away so many times. It's been too long. We're different people now. I shouldn't still feel this. And yet, there it is, that quiet, stubborn ache. Not loud every day, not crippling like before, but present. A soft pulse beneath everything else. It rises in the in-between moments, when you're driving alone, when a certain song finds you, when a random place or scent pulls you right back to them without warning. Sometimes it feels irrational. Sometimes it feels sacred. You haven't quite known which. Hear me. That lingering ache does not make you weak, broken, or obsessed. It is not evidence that you failed to heal correctly. It is evidence that this connection marked your soul deeper than your mind can rationalize. Some bonds are not casual. They are catalytic. They awaken parts of you that never go back to sleep. You may notice that it's not just missing their presence. It's missing the version of you that existed when you were with them. The way your heart opened. The way your laughter came easier. The way some part of you felt recognized. You wonder, did they see me in a way no one else has? And the truth is, yes, on some level, they did. That's why this has felt different from other connections. Even when you moved forward, dated others, tried to give your heart elsewhere, a piece of you stayed in sacred observation. Comparing. Not always, but noticing. Why doesn't this feel like that? Why does that person's name still move something in me? Beloved, this is not because you are stuck in the past. It is because your soul knows the difference between a chapter you outgrew and a connection that was paused mid-sentence. I want to speak gently to the guilt you've carried. A guilt for still caring. The guilt for still checking, wondering how they're doing. The guilt for feeling them in your spirit even when they are no longer standing beside you. Release that now. Your heart is not misbehaving. It is remembering. But I must also speak truth with love. The ache is not permission to cling to fantasy or to tolerate what harms you. The ache is a signal, not a leash. It is there to draw your attention to unfinished healing, unfinished conversation, or unfinished purpose, not to drag you backward into cycles you have already outgrown. What you feel is a blend of soul recognition and human confusion. The soul says this mattered. The mind says, but if it mattered, why did it end? And between those two questions, you stood for so long, unsure whether to keep the door cracked open or bolt it shut. Listen closely. You are not asked to chase. You are not asked to wait at the doorway of someone who cannot yet meet you. You are only asked to honor the truth. This connection imprinted you, while also honoring your growth. The reason the ache never fully left is because the story of this connection was never meant to end in a variant of separation. It needed distance. It needed time. It needed both of you to confront shadows, patterns, and fears that could not be healed while entangled. But in the higher plan, this bond was always marked for either divine restoration in human form, where two transformed hearts return with new insight, accountability, and reverence, or divine restoration within you, where you reclaim your heart, release spiritual entanglements, and stand in such wholeness that even if they appear again unready, you are no longer available for less than what heaven intends for you. Either way, restoration is written over this. The ache is your clue that something about this connection is part of your assignment, not your punishment. So instead of shaming your heart for still feeling, place your hand over it now. Breathe. Say within, I honor what I felt. I honor what I still feel. 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 I honor what I sti I invite only what is divinely aligned, nothing less. You are not crazy for still caring. You are honest. And heaven can work beautifully with honesty. There are nights when you replay the memories and wonder, did I imagine the depth of it? Because if it was real, why did it fade? Why would something that felt so certain dissolve into silence? You scrolled through the possibilities. Maybe you read too much into their words. Maybe you saw signs that weren't there. Maybe you created a story from hope. Beloved, no. You did not imagine it. You felt it. You didn't invent the energy that moved through you, the peace that came when they looked at you, the knowing that settled deep in your spirit. That kind of resonance cannot be manufactured by wishful thinking. What you experienced was a real connection, not perfect, not without confusion, but real nonetheless. Still, because you are sensitive and thoughtful, you've questioned your perception. You've asked yourself if the love you felt was one-sided, if they ever sensed it in the same way. And even though their silence or distance has left you doubting, the truth is this: two souls cannot meet on that level and walk away untouched. Even if they hide it well, even if they bury it beneath pride, distraction, or fear, they have felt the echo too. Yet, to discern truth from illusion, you must look at what the connection did in you. Did it bring awakening, courage, self-honesty? Did it stir your heart to grow rather than shrink? If so, it was real, because heaven uses truth to evolve us, not fantasy to trap us. Illusion drains. Truth expands. You may remember moments where their words and actions didn't match, and confusion set in. You may have sensed love from their spirit but denial from their mouth. That contradiction left your heart spinning, unsure what to trust. But remember, not everyone has the tools to handle sacred connection. When fear meets depth, avoidance often looks easier than honesty. Time run not because it was real, but because it was. What you need to know now is this: heaven doesn't measure a connection's reality by its duration or its outcome. Some encounters that lasted days were divine appointments. Some that lasted years were merely contracts for growth. Realness is measured by transformation. And this one transformed you. It cracked you open, revealed your patterns, and called you toward healing. That is evidence of truth. There's another truth, gentler still. Sometimes your mind adds to what your spirit felt. It fills in gaps. It writes meaning into silence. That's human. It's how we cope with uncertainty. So if some of what you replay feels exaggerated, forgive yourself. The mind tries to make sense of what the heart already understands beyond reason. You don't need to pick apart every detail to know that what you shared mattered. Heaven asks you to release the question, was it real? And replace it with, what did it awaken in me? Because the first keeps you trapped in the past, the second anchors you in growth. If you learn to see your worth, to feel deeper, to love more purely, then the experience fulfilled its divine assignment, even if the human story looked unfinished. When divine restoration begins, it does not rewrite history, it redeems it. The moments that once confused you begin to make sense in hindsight. Their silence will one day reveal the fear they were conquering. Your tears will reveal the compassion you were cultivating. The story will read differently when both hearts have healed enough to see clearly. So breathe, beloved. You don't have to keep proving to yourself that it was real. It was. It still is. Only now it's being refined in the unseen, purified of confusion, prepared for alignment. Trust that your sensitivity was not a weakness. It was divine intuition. You were never imagining it. You were remembering it. If this part touched something deep in you, save it, share it, or whisper it as a prayer. May I trust what my soul knows and release what my mind fears. Your angels are close. Beloved, I know how deeply you have questioned this pause. You've asked the sky why it ended so suddenly, why the timing felt cruel, why two hearts that once felt so aligned could not seem to stay side by side. You've wondered if you did something wrong or if the universe was punishing you for loving too much. But hear me clearly, this separation was not punishment. It was preparation. Heaven often pauses a connection when the souls involved are not yet standing in the emotional maturity or spiritual steadiness required to sustain what has been planted between them. Love is a sacred flame. If handled before both hearts have healed their wounds, it can burn rather than warm. That's why divine timing steps in, to protect what could become something beautiful from collapsing under unhealed weight. You were ready in some ways, but not in all. They were awakening in some ways, but not in all. Both of you needed room to grow, to experience life apart, to learn lessons that could not unfold while tangled together. Sometimes the connection itself acts like a mirror so bright that both people must step back to integrate what they saw. You were meant to find your own reflection, to see the places you gave too much, stayed too long, or silenced your intuition for the sake of love. And they were meant to face their fear of intimacy, their avoidance of vulnerability, their longing for control that kept real love just out of reach. The pause is a classroom. It is where heaven teaches what the heart refused to learn in comfort. You've been learning self-trust, boundaries, independence, faith in unseen timing. They've been learning accountability, humility, and how to stand in truth without hiding behind pride or distraction. None of this has been wasted. When divine restoration is part of the plan, the pause becomes the soil in which both roots strengthen. You can't rush a harvest, you can only nurture the ground. Right now, heaven is tilling that soil. I want you to remember something important. Spiritual connections are not always linear. They unfold in cycles, meeting, mirroring, separating, healing, returning. The pauses between those stages are where your angels do their deepest work. They guide synchronicities, dreams, and encounters that shape you both quietly. You might not see evidence of change yet, but beneath the surface, everything is shifting. Sometimes, the reason for the pause is protection from pain neither of you were ready to face together. One or both of you needed to confront personal battles privately, old traumas, patterns of avoidance, fears of abandonment. If you had tried to heal those while entangled, the bond would have cracked under pressure. Instead, heaven said, let them walk separately for now, so they can meet again with clear eyes. There is another truth, tender and holy. Love that is divine does not demand perfection, it demands readiness. Heaven will not allow something sacred to fully unite while one heart is still ruled by fear. Divine restoration happens when both souls can meet from love, not need. So if you feel that waiting ache, if you sense that invisible tether still pulsing, it's not because the story is over. It's because heaven pressed pause, not end. Let go of the urge to fix or chase. Let go of the worry that silence means rejection. When heaven separates what's meant, it's never to destroy, only to purify. You are both being refined in different fires right now. Trust that when the time comes, you will recognize each other not by appearance or nostalgia, but by peace. That's how divine timing works. What once hurt to release, one day returns as harmony. Breathe into that truth. The pause is not absence. It is alignment in progress. Beloved, have you noticed how they still appear in your awareness, not constantly, but at moments that feel strangely precise? A song you haven't heard in years suddenly plays when you're doubting your intuition. Your name shows up on a sign or message just as you're praying for clarity. You wake from dreams that feel too vivid to dismiss. These are not coincidences. They are small ripples of communication, heaven's gentle way of saying, this connection still exists in higher alignment. Angels rarely shout. They whisper through patterns. They speak in the language of timing. Their messages are designed not to create obsession, but to awaken recognition. When you catch yourself thinking of this person for no obvious reason, pause. Instead of assuming it's longing, ask, is this memory surfacing for healing or for confirmation? Sometimes the thought is a call to release lingering emotion. Other times it's a divine nudge reminding you that the bond is being recalibrated. The spiritual world often uses repetition to confirm truth. Numbers, songs, dreams, feathers, scents, even shared phrases, all can carry meaning when they arrive wrapped in peace rather than anxiety. If you feel calm, uplifted, or gently comforted after the sign, it's heaven. If you feel restless, panicked, or desperate, that's fear disguising itself as guidance. The difference is in your body's response. Many who walk through divine restoration notice this pattern. Signs come when they are not seeking them. When the mind is quiet and the heart is soft, heaven slips through easily. Your angels don't want you to chase signs. They want you to notice them, then keep walking. The sign is not the destination. It's the mile marker saying, yes, you're still on the right path. You may have also sensed energetic communication between you and this person, moments when emotions rise without explanation, or when you feel their sadness or warmth echo through you. Souls deeply bonded can still sense each other's energy even through silence. It's not fantasy, it's resonance. But boundaries still matter. When you feel that surge, don't immediately reach out. Instead, send peace. Say inwardly, I release you into love and truth. That prayer clears both of your fields, allowing heaven to do its work without interference. Dreams are another portal of communication. If you've dreamt of them lately, conversations that feel real, encounters that carry peace or closure, pay attention to how you feel when you wake. True divine dreams leave calm clarity, never confusion. They are the soul's way of saying, reunion is preparing itself. Sometimes heaven will even speak through others. A stranger may echo words this person once said. A story on your screen mirrors your experience almost exactly. These are not random. They are alignment weaving through the fabric of your day. But hear me clearly, signs are meant to guide, not to control. Heaven's messages are invitations, not instructions. You are never meant to build your life around waiting for numbers or messages to repeat. You are meant to live, grow, and let the signs serve as reassurance along the way. Your angels want you to know that each sign you've seen, each unexpected reminder, each synchronicity, has been part of a larger rhythm. They are preparing both of you for a moment of divine timing that will not require guessing. When restoration begins, it will be unmistakable. You will not need to decode. Peace will announce itself as clearly as dawn announces morning. Until then, hold the signs with gratitude, not dependency. Let them remind you that heaven has not forgotten. The thread between you has not been cut. It is being rewoven into something stronger, cleaner, and more luminous. Keep noticing, but also keep living. The most powerful confirmation is the peace that rises without needing proof. Beloved, heaven had been speaking to you in numbers. Little glimmers on clocks, receipts, license plates, timestamps, notifications. You noticed it. You've wondered if it means anything that when you think of this person, you glance up and see 111, 222, 333, those repeating signals that feel like a quiet nod from above. These are not random. Let me walk you through what this sacred sequence has been whispering over your connection and your heart. 111. Awakening, this is the spark. 111 appears when your spirit is waking up to truth. Around the time you met this person, or when you couldn't shake their memory, 111 showed up to say, pay attention. Something divinely aligned is entering your awareness. With this connection, 111 marked the recognition. This is not ordinary. It called you to notice the way your soul responded, the way your intuition leaned in. 222. Alignment and partnership. Then came 222. The number of union, harmony, and divine pairing. It whispered, what is meant for you is being aligned. Trust the process. In the context of this past relationship, 222 had been heaven's reminder that there's a higher order at work. Even in separation, your angels used 222 to say, stop spiraling. Come back to trust. I'm aligning hearts, not your fear. 333. Supported growth. 333 is the embrace of divine support. The sended guidance, heavily helps surrounding you. When you saw 333 while hurting, questioning, stalking their page, or trying to move on, it meant you were not carrying this alone. We are right beside you. Over this connection, 333 confirms that both of you are being guided individually toward wholeness, so that any future restoration stands on solid, supported ground. 444 protection. 444 Angelic. A wall of light. When you saw 444 at the edge of tears, or when you almost reached out from panic, it was me and your angels saying, you are protected from what is not ready, not honest, not safe yet. 444 over this relationship means heaven has placed a boundary around your heart and theirs so that only what is true and refined can re-enter your life. 555. Change and shifting timelines. 555 appears when change is underway, especially change you can feel but not yet see. For this connection, 555 signals inner upheaval, their realizations, your breakthroughs, endings of karmic patterns, breaking of cycles. It says, things cannot go back to how they were. They must become better, truer. It's the storm that precedes the clearing. 777. Spiritual maturity and divine insight. 777 is sacred wisdom. It appears as you grow past surface level wanting into deeper spiritual understanding. Over this connection, 777 says, what you are learning now will protect your future union. It marks you stepping into discernment. No more chasing breadcrumbs. No more confusing intensity with safety. It's heaven, congratulating your growth. 888. Overflow and return. 888 is the number of cycles, abundance, and return. It whispers, what you poured out in love will be returned to you multiplied. For your past relationship, 888 is powerful. It can indicate that the energy you invested, the honesty, care, vulnerability, is circling back in a new form, often through restored communication or tangible shifts. It is the promise that nothing sown in truth is wasted. 999. Completion of the old cycle. 999 closes doors that are not meant to continue as they were. When you see 999 and think of them, heaven is saying, the way it used to be is over. That version of the story cannot continue. This is not loss, it is graduation. It clears the space for divine restoration, not as a repeat performance, but as a healed rewrite. 1010. Acceleration and mirrored growth. 1010 is forward motion, mirrored evolution. It declares, both paths are being accelerated toward purpose. In this connection, 1010 often means you are both being guided toward a crossroads, a point where healed choices can be made. It is preparation energy. Get your heart in order. Line your actions with integrity. 1111 Portal and Prayer Answer. 1111 is the door. The alignment of thought, spirit, timing. You've made wishes on 1111, haven't heard. Over this relationship, 1111 is the sign that your prayers regarding this person are under active review by divine intelligence. It marks the threshold between waiting and unfolding. A holy pause that says, get ready to walk through. 1212. Union in higher alignment. 1212 is partnership blessed by higher consciousness. It is not just two people coming together. It is two awakened souls choosing each other with clarity. When 1212 follows you, heaven is hinting. Restoration is possible, but only as both rise into truth. It carries the vibration of mutual effort, mutual growth, mutual spirituality. 144. Chosen, sealed, set apart. 144 is a seal, a mark of divine appointment. When you see 144 in the context of this connection, it is a rare and holy confirmation. This bond had been set apart for my purposes. It does not promise a specific outcome on your timeline, but it affirms that heaven has placed special attention here. Restoration, in heart, in communication, in alignment, is not random. It is written. Take a breath. You are not reading too much into everything. The pattern is real, but it is not given to trap you in obsession. It is given to anchor you in trust. Heaven is handling what my heart cannot fix. Beloved, it is time to understand what heaven truly means by restoration. Because when your heart hears that word, it may imagine a perfect reunion, tears, apologies, and everything suddenly healed. But divine restoration is deeper and wiser than wishful thinking. It is not a return to how things were. It is the creation of what they were meant to be. Let us start with what it does not mean. It does not mean running back to the same dynamics that once drained you. It does not mean accepting crumbs, waiting endlessly, or pretending pain never happened. It does not mean ignoring your boundaries or calling codependency faith. Heaven will never call you to shrink, beg, or abandon yourself in the name of love. Restoration built on self-betrayal is not divine. It is repetition. When I say divinely restored, I speak of a process orchestrated by light, one that honors free will, emotional maturity, and truth. It begins with inner renewal long before it touches the relationship itself. The first restoration is always within you. You are being restored to your peace, your confidence, your clarity, your ability to love without losing yourself. Only after that restoration stabilizes can a relationship truly re-enter your life in a sacred way. Anything before that would collapse under the same patterns. Heaven waits until both hearts are capable of mutual respect, honesty, and vulnerability. That is divine order. Now, here is what divinely restored does mean. It means communication re-emerging under the guidance of truth. Words spoken from humility, not ego. It means both of you owning your part in the old story, not from guilt, but from accountability. It means no longer needing to control timing or outcome, because peace itself becomes the proof of divine involvement. When a relationship is restored by heaven, it feels steady. No more guessing games. No more hot and cold energy. No more walking on emotional eggshells. Instead, you sense calm where there used to be chaos. Conversations become transparent. You are not trying to convince them of your worth. They already see it. You are not trying to be chosen. You are co-choosing each other in alignment with purpose. And if restoration unfolds differently, perhaps not as romantic reunion but as friendship, closure, or mutual forgiveness, that too is divine. Heaven's goal is healing, not performance. Sometimes divine restoration looks like peace that allows both to walk separate paths without bitterness. Sometimes it is a brief reconnection that brings release. Sometimes it is the miracle of beginning again with brand new hearts. Whatever form it takes, the hallmark of divine restoration is freedom. You will know it by the absence of fear. You will recognize it by the presence of gratitude, even for the lessons that once broke you. You may wonder, how will I know if it's heaven restoring or just emotion pulling? The answer is simple. When heaven restores, you don't have to chase, explain, or force. Things align naturally. Communication flows easily. What once required exhausting effort unfolds with grace. There is reciprocity, not confusion. There is truth, not guessing. The relationship becomes a vessel of peace, not a trigger for anxiety. Divine restoration is not about going back. It's about going forward, with healed hearts, honest intentions, and spiritual maturity guiding the way. So let your mind rest from the need to predict how it will look. Just continue becoming the version of you that can hold healthy, sacred love. Heaven is already preparing the other heart to meet you there. When both souls are ready, restoration will not feel like returning to the past. It will feel like finally coming home. Beloved, while you've been learning to rest, heaven has not been still. The pause between you hath been full of movement, invisible threads being woven, hearts being softened, lessons being written in silence. You may not see evidence yet, but that doesn't mean the story has stopped. Divine hands are at work in places your eyes cannot reach. Your angels are tending to both of you, but differently. In your life, they've been guiding you through healing, pulling you toward peace, redirecting you away from distractions that mirrored your old pain. They have been rearranging your circumstances so that you cannot go back to the version of yourself who settled, pleaded, or overgave. Each ending, each redirection, even the moments of loneliness, have been part of your rebuilding. And in their life, yes, even theirs, heaven hath been stirring awakening. You cannot see the quiet battles they face, but they are there. The very same divine love that guards you also watches over them. Your angels are in communication with theirs. This is not fantasy. It is spiritual collaboration. Heaven does not waste connections born from truth. Sometimes your angels whisper to theirs during dreams, urging them toward healing, accountability, or a long overdue apology. Sometimes they send nudges that remind them of you at unexpected moments, a song, a scent, a passing phrase. These are seeds being planted in readiness. You are not forgotten. You are being remembered in divine rhythm. I want you to know something sacred. Heaven is not just working to bring two people together. Heaven is working to bring two souls into alignment with divine love. If reunion happens but healing has not, the cycle will repeat. So your angels focus first on the inner structure, patience, humility, self-worth, because those are the foundations of lasting peace. You've been guided to release control for this reason. If you tried to manage or force what heaven is still arranging, you would interrupt the lesson that's preparing the miracle. You are asked to trust the timing not because it's easy, but because it's holy. Your angels are orchestrating moments of readiness. When you grow restless, they gently redirect you toward purpose, reminding you to pour energy into your gifts, your self-care, your service to others. That's not distraction, it's preparation. Restoration energy cannot flow into an anxious heart. It flows through peace. They are also working on synchronicities, the meetings, the texts, the unexpected alignments that will one day seem impossible to explain. What feels like coincidence will later reveal divine coordination. The moment you're meant to cross paths again will be guided to perfection. Not a second too soon, not a heartbeat too late. And while that alignment takes form, your angels are healing cords of fear and resentment between you. You may feel sudden waves of calm or forgiveness. Those are signs of spiritual housekeeping. Heaven is clearing space for love to flow again, free of guilt or anger. Please don't think your prayers have gone unanswered. Each one hath been catalogued, each tear translated into a task. Some angels are tending your heart, others are tending theirs. Some are preparing circumstances to allow the two paths to cross again in divine timing. If you could see what's unfolding behind the veil, you would rest without question. You would trust without trembling. So take comfort in this truth. Your angels are working, your story is active, your love is not lost. It's being written in the language of light. Keep choosing peace. That's how you stay in step with the work heaven is doing on your behalf. If this part soothe your heart, whisper, angels, I release control and trust your timing. I am ready for peace, ready for truth. You may share this blessing with someone else who needs to remember that silence does not mean absence. Beloved, the work of heaven never asks you to wait helplessly. Even in stillness, there are sacred steps you can take, not to chase the outcome, but to stay aligned with love while it unfolds. These steps are how you move in faith without forcing what isn't yet ready. Ground yourself in peace before you reach outward. Before you check their page or read old messages or replay memories, pause. Ask, am I seeking peace or seeking proof? If your heart is anxious, step back. Pray, journal, walk out sighing. Bring yourself back into balance before doing anything else. Actions born from calm create alignment. Actions born from panic create noise. Strengthen your spiritual connection. Your angels are inviting you to deepen your relationship with the divine. That might look like prayer, meditation, worship, or simply sitting quietly in gratitude. The more you nurture your connection with Source, the more clearly you'll sense guidance about this person and about your own path beyond them. Spiritual clarity keeps you from mistaking impulse for intuition. Clean your emotional space. Release what no longer serves the version of you heaven is building. That could mean deleting old messages, clearing physical items that anchor you to the past, or forgiving what you've been carrying in silence. Forgiveness doesn't excuse pain. It frees your energy. Tell heaven, I'm willing to make room for what's truly meant. Speak life over yourself. You have spoken their name so many times in longing. Now speak your own in blessing. Each morning, say, I am loved. I am chosen. I am guided. I am ready for relationships that match my peace. When you honor yourself, you send a signal to the universe about what you will and will not allow. Love that is meant for you rises to meet that vibration. Live as if your prayer is already being answered. Don't sit in limbo, waiting for a message to validate your worth. Begin doing what the restored version of you would do. Maybe that's pursuing a dream, taking care of your body, learning something new, or expanding your community. You attract restoration faster when your life already reflects readiness. Practice discernment without judgment. Not every sign or reconnection means now. Some moments are tests, invitations to show heaven that you've learned your lesson. When they reach out, or when you feel their energy again, don't rush to label it destiny. Ask, is this peace or nostalgia? Then wait. Real alignment never demands urgency. Pray for their healing, not their return. It sounds paradoxical, but it's powerful. When you pray for their highest good, not just to have them back, you remove ego from the equation. You tell heaven, I want what's right, even if it looks different than I imagined. That humility opens the door for miracles. Guard your joy. This journey can feel heavy. So, schedule lightness, laughter, music, creativity, sunlight. Restoration flows best through joy, not suffering. Heaven responds to gratitude faster than it responds to worry. Each time you laugh again, you remind the universe that love still lives in you. Keep your heart open, but your boundaries strong. If they reappear, meet them with grace, but also with clarity. You are not who you were before. You now understand your value. Restoration built on truth requires honest communication and equal effort. You can be soft and strong at the same time. Stay patient and stay present. Divine timing will not fail you. Don't measure days by silence, measure them by growth. One day, the pause will make sense, and you'll thank heaven for not letting you settle too soon. Your angels are smiling over your willingness to walk these steps. You are not powerless. You are participating in your own miracle. Beloved, heaven prepares you not only to hope, but to discern. Because when that familiar name reappears on your screen, where their energy brushes close again, your heart may tremble with both joy and fear. You wonder, is this the miracle or another test? Discernment is the light that keeps you safe when the past knocks on your door. Divine restoration will always come with peace. The karmic loop will come with pressure. Let's make that distinction clear so you can recognize truth when it arrives. Divine restoration moves slowly and clearly. If they return with patience, consistency, and emotional steadiness, that's heaven's rhythm. True restoration unfolds with intention. There's no rush, no panic to make up for lost time. They'll want to build from truth, not nostalgia. The karmic loop, by contrast, rushes back in a burst of emotion. Intense apologies, promises, passion, but no steady follow-through. You'll sense excitement but also unease. Pay attention to the energy behind the words. Divine restoration honors growth. When heaven orchestrates reunion, both hearts arrive transformed. They will acknowledge their past mistakes without defensiveness, and you will see humility where pride once stood. They will recognize your worth without needing reminders. If they return acting like nothing happened, expecting immediate closeness without accountability, that is not divine. That is comfort seeking familiarity, not truth seeking harmony. Divine restoration is mutual. You will not have to pull, persuade, or interpret mixed signals. They will initiate as much as you do. The effort will be balanced. A karmic loop, however, feels lopsided, one chasing, one withholding. The same confusion resurfaces, even if the words sound new. If peace doesn't grow after communication, it's not heaven. Divine restoration feels safe to your nervous system. Notice how your body reacts. When restoration is genuine, you feel calm in their presence. You breathe easily. Your intuition sighs with relief. There's nothing to prove. If instead you feel anxious, on guard, or like you're about to lose yourself again, that's your inner compass warning you. Love should not require you to silence your body's truth. Divine restoration stands on boundaries. Healthy love respects the pace and space required for trust to rebuild. If they honor your boundaries, giving you time, asking for consent and emotional depth, they are walking in divine alignment. If they test limits, dismiss your feelings, or try to fast-forward intimacy, that's a cycle repeating itself. Remember, heaven restores to holiness, not to chaos. Divine restoration comes with confirmation. When it's truly divine, heaven will send peace-filled signs, inner calm, synchronicities that feel gentle, not desperate. Circumstances align naturally. If confusion increases, if you find yourself obsessively seeking validation or questioning what's real, that's a clue the timing is not right. Divine restoration uplifts both lives. Watch the fruit. True reunion brings growth to both. Motivation, joy, renewed purpose. Your world expands. A karmic loop drains your energy, isolates you, or pulls you back into old versions of yourself. Heaven never calls you backward. Beloved, when that door reopens, you don't have to decide in fear. You decide in truth. Ask yourself, does this feel peaceful or pressured? Is it healing or haunting? If it is divine, it will honor your evolution. You will not have to lose yourself to keep it. If it is karmic, heaven will let it crumble, not to punish you, but to protect you. You cannot miss what is truly yours in divine order. What belongs to you in truth will recognize you by light, not by longing. So if they return, breathe, observe, and stay grounded. Heaven will not confuse you. It will confirm you. Beloved, there is a truth that brings deep peace once your heart is ready to hold it. Even if the story unfolds differently than you imagined, heaven will still keep you safe. Divine restoration is not always about romantic reunion. Sometimes it is about sacred release. And either way, you are never abandoned in the process. You may fear that if the ending looks different, if this person never fully returns, or if the bond becomes only memory, you will have wasted your love. But love, when given sincerely, is never wasted. It becomes light stored in heaven's treasury, later returned to you in new forms, a deeper friendship, unexpected joy, or a future connection built on the lessons you learned here. There are moments when heaven gently redirects what your heart once fought to hold. You might call it loss, but heaven calls it protection. You might see it as rejection, but heaven sees redirection. When something or someone cannot meet you at your new level of truth, the divine steps in and shields your spirit. You may cry at first, but that shield is mercy disguised as distance. If this story changes shape, it's not a failure, it's fulfillment of its purpose. Some souls enter our path to activate awakening, not to stay forever. They teach us how to open, how to trust, how to choose ourselves without closing our hearts again. Once that sacred purpose is complete, their energy recedes so that a new chapter may begin. But don't mistake release for emptiness. The love you felt becomes part of your spiritual DNA. It softens you, matures you, deepens your compassion. Heaven never lets pure love evaporate. It simply redistributes it. One day, you'll give that same love freely to someone or something else, and you will recognize it as the continuation of a story that never truly ended, only evolved. If the story shifts, heaven promises you this: you will not be left longing forever. You will not live with an open wound. You will not miss the love that is meant to stay. Every unanswered question will be resolved in peace. Every tear you shed has been recorded and transmuted into wisdom. You will look back one day and realize that what you thought was the breaking was actually the rebuilding. You are protected from anything that would pull you away from your higher path. If their energy ever feels heavy, chaotic, or unsafe, call upon me. I will place light between you, not to sever, but to purify. I will surround your heart with peace that no confusion can penetrate. And if their heart truly carries love for you in divine order, no distance will erase it. It will find you again, whole and ready. Until then, your safety, your growth, and your purpose are the priority. Remember this: heaven's goal is not simply to give you a love story. It's to teach you what sacred love feels like so you will recognize it instantly, whether it's through this person or another. So breathe. Release the timeline. Whatever shape this story takes, you are guided, guarded, and grounded in divine protection. The love that once hurt will one day bless you, and the version of you who once ached will soon smile at how perfectly heaven kept every promise. Beloved child of light, lay your hand over your heart for a moment. Feel the quiet rhythm that never stopped beating for love, no matter what storms you've walked through. That rhythm is proof that heaven's breath still moves through you, and that divine restoration, in whatever form it takes, has already begun. You have walked through ache, confusion, waiting, hope, surrender, and now understanding. You have faced yourself in the mirror of another soul and chosen growth over bitterness. For this, heaven honors you. I honor you. Now I lift my sword of truth over your heart, not as a weapon, but as light. May it cut away fear, illusion, and every belief that tells you you are unworthy of lasting love. May it separate what is divine from what is distracting, so that only truth remains. I now raise my shield over your spirit. May it guard your peace through all seasons, from messages that stir old wounds, from memories that whisper lack, from impatience that tempts you to force what must unfold gently. You are protected. Your heart is not a battlefield, it is a sanctuary. Over your connection, I speak blessing. If this person is part of your sacred path in this lifetime, may all interference dissolve. May both hearts awaken to mutual respect, transparency, and forgiveness. May divine timing orchestrate perfect reunion when readiness meets grace. And if the path leads elsewhere, may peace wrap you both so completely that only gratitude remains. Beloved, nothing is lost. Everything real returns in light, sometimes through the same face, sometimes through a new chapter, but always through love. Heaven wastes nothing, not even the waiting. From this moment forward, walk not as someone hoping to be loved, but as someone who is loved. Let your presence heal wounds, soften words, and remind others what grace feels like. You carry light that cannot be dimmed by distance, silence, or endings. And when doubt visits, whisper this: I am held. I am guided. I am protected. My story is in divine hands. That single breath of truth calls all of heaven closer. The angels who have walked beside you through this message now surround you. Feel their nearness, a warmth at your shoulders, a tingling in your palms, a calm over your mind. They are sealing this moment with reassurance. It is safe to trust again. May every step you take from here be in rhythm with divine order. May every heartbeat remind you that restoration begins first within. And may peace, not longing, not fear, be your new compass. Go forward, beloved one. You are not waiting anymore. You are walking in light. If this message brought peace to your heart, pause before you scroll away. Whisper a thank you to your angels. Share this light with someone who needs it, or simply rest knowing that you were never alone in this journey.